Here we will see properties of array in C#. C# provides number of useful properties to manipulate the array. Some of the most commonly used are listed below. First is fixed size. This property gets a value indicating whether the array has fixed size. This property is always true for all types of arrays. Next is read only. This property gets a value indicating whether array is read only. This property is always false for all arrays. Synchronized gets a value indicating whether access to the array is synchronized, that is thread safe. This property is always false for all arrays. Next is length. Gets the total number of elements in all dimensions of the array. Then long length gets a 64-bit integer that represents the total number of elements in all dimensions of array. Max length property is used to get the maximum number of elements that may be contained in an array. Rank property gets the rank, that is number of dimensions of the array. For example, one-dimensional array returns 1, two-dimensional array returns 2, and so on. Sync_root property gets an object that can be used to synchronize access to the array. Here we will see how array properties work in Windows application form. For this, first we'll add new form with name frm array property, and then we'll add controls on it. Here we have added these controls on the form. Here we have added these buttons to define properties of arrays. We have declared this array B with dimensions 3 and 2. That is 3 rows and 2 columns. To execute this form in program.cs, we have called this form frm array property. And now we will execute it. First I will click on this fixed size. When we click this button, the result will be true. The general syntax for finding the fixed size is b.isFixedSize, where b is the array that we have defined. This property is always true for all types of arrays. An array with a fixed size does not allow the addition or removal of elements after the array is created, but it allows the modification of existing elements. Next we will click on isReadOnly. When we click on this isReadOnly property, the result will be false. General syntax is b.isReadOnly. This property is always false for all arrays. An array that is read-only does not allow additional, removal or modification of elements after the array is created. With isFixedSize property, we can do the modification, but with isReadOnly, we can't do addition, removal and also modification. Next we will see synchronized. This property returns false. General syntax is b.isSynchronized. This property gets a value indicating whether access to the array is synchronized, that is thread safe. A code is called thread safe if it is being called from multiple threads concurrently without breaking the functionality. Next property is length. When we click on this length button, the result we will get is 6 and the return type will be system.int32. This property gets the total number of elements in all dimensions of an array. General syntax is b.length. And syntax to get the type is b.length.getType. Here we are assigning this result to text box, so we have converted it to toString. This array length property always returns the length of the type system.int32. Next is long length. This property returns of type int64. The general syntax is b.longlength and syntax to get the type will be b.longlength.getType toString. Next is max length. This property gets the maximum number of elements that may be contained in an array. This property represents a runtime limitation that the maximum number of elements allowed in an array at runtime. There is no guarantee that an allocation under this length will succeed, but all attempts to allocate a larger array will be fail. Next is rank. General syntax for defining rank is b.rank. Rank property gets the number of dimensions of an array. Here we have defined b with 2 dimensions, so the rank will be 2. Next is syncroot. This property gets an object that can be used to synchronize access to the array. Synchronization in C# is a mechanism that ensures only one process or thread access the critical section of the program. All the other threads have to wait until the critical section is free before they can enter it.